Right, lads. We're here in NYC. So we jump into a little live, hey? Why not? It's been a minute, so we get back into that. Um, First thing I want to chat about, really, I know a lot of people are going to check this out um, probably a little bit later when they get home from work or whatever, just because they're doing this at a bit of a strange time. But just want to get in and talk a little bit around some theory coming into the bye period. So we have obviously a few games, um, a few weeks before that, but 3 weeks now. We have a total of 8 trades to be used heading into round 13. So keep that in mind. I think is going to be. I think it's going to be important to rotate the camera and give her a go. No, facing this way this time. Oh, that'll work. Oh, we'll go normal. Normal it is. Bloody hell. Anyhow, let's just roll with that. So, 8 trades we can make up until the next up till round 13. So, where you at right now? Let's have a look at that. If you're sitting with maybe like what do we see? A majority of people, like, if you'd let me know in the comments where you sit now, probably around that 8 to potentially 12 players currently, playing in your sides at this stage. So the big question is, how many trades are you going to be using up until round 13, and how many, which cover, which is it going to be round 13 or is it going to be round 17 that you're going to really focus on? Is going to be the big question because as I've been speaking, that 12 to 15 players, whether they're going to be guns or whether they're going to be um, cheapies mixed in with that as well, is going to be your biggest question as to what you're going to do. So that's where we're going to start. And I've got a bunch of people asking me questions on Talakai as well, so we'll answer them already, just as a starter. But I definitely think he's probably a sell there, guys. Coming into this week, there's the lack, the loss of price, and also the lack of points. And I think that's the reason why we're going to move him on. He's not playing Origin either. He's not going to be playing round 13 either. So I think that would be the biggest reason to move him on heading into this week. And in terms of players, we're talking about 12 to 15, and just heading into round 13, I would say just make room for at least one suspension or injury heading into round 13, and then you got to think about Origin as well. So a few things to think about. If you're sitting with 20 trades right now, heading into that period, then I think now's the time to start spending a little bit and just being sure that the people you're bringing in definitely aren't going to be playing Origin. So the main worry right now is with someone like Ruben Cotter, that he's potentially earned a spot on that Origin bench for Queensland. And if you think that that's a good chance at the moment, I would probably wait until round 13 when that's announced. And after round 12, they'll announce the Origin team, and then you can make that decision there as if you want to pop him into your side or not. I think that's going to be the best way to think about someone like Cotter. And if there's someone that's definitely not going to be playing Origin, whether it's a Kiwi, one of those types of players, or they're just not at that level yet of getting to Origin, then you could think about plugging them into your team now. Would be my suggestion. So allowing that space for one injury or suspension heading into round 13. So just cancel off one of those trades straight away would be the right thing to do. And then setting aside a bunch of trades into round 13 to get to that 12, 13, 14, 15 players. And then we can work that out from there. All right. So let's have the example of you've got 14, you've got 14 players playing on round 13. What I would think then is from round 13 to round 17 is you're going to have at least one, again, injury or suspension. It could be two. But you're going to be, from there, I've written down here, I've got probably, let's say you have 14 players heading into round 13, then you've only got 7 that are going to be playing in 17 at best, right? 7 at best. It's probably going to be 5 or 6 because you're most likely going to be holding 1 or 2 Origin guys who don't play in 13 and 17, for example. And then there's going to be either an injury or a suspension. So that's something really important that I'd be thinking about is just how many trades you're going to use through that 13 to 17, which we spoke about in that Origin buy schedule video last week. But this is just a little bit more centered around the actual playing players. So let's say you use 8 to 9 trades. If you got 5, let's say, so if you use 9 trades to get to the 14, for example, if you had an extra player, if you had the 6 available, 7, then you can use maybe 7, 8, or 9 trades there, and that might leave you with approximately sort of 7, 8, 5, 4, somewhere around there. Heading into round 18, you're probably going to use a couple, 2 to 3 to 4, to get out of the bye period and get yourself prepped and ready to build your final squad in round 18. Hopefully you bring in some guns in 17 you're going to keep for the whole year as well. And then, potentially trading a few more times, 18 and 19, to get yourself pretty close to that gun status. You might be utilizing majority of your trades through 18, 19, 20, and then leaving, that extra 4 that we get in round 20, using that just for injuries and suspensions. That would be my thoughts around the Origin buys, and let me know what you guys think around that one. Let me know in the comments right now. That would be sick if you could do that. That would be awesome. And I'm just going to get up a few of your questions now. It would be cool, and we'll go through that. Just drop those comments in there, and we'll have a bit of a discussion around that. Where you're at currently. If you can give me a number of players that you've got currently heading into round 13, that would be sick. And then how many trades you've got, just so we can get a bit of an idea as to where everyone's at, would be cool. I think that would be good. And then we'll have some fun. All right, so let's get into the chat. Thanks, Luki. NYC's been fun. It's cool. Rained a bit today. We've got a 25-degree sunny day tomorrow, so we'll be out and about pretty early, I'd say, after I get a few videos done in the morning. All right. Jakey Fraser, picking up Tohu Harris next week or week 12. I'd probably pick Tohu up in 13. So anyone who's thinking about Harris there, I think he's obviously a good, a better opportunity to pick him up in round 13. He's probably going to lose a bit of cash, and then he gets back closer to that 70, 80 minutes, and he'll be good for us. Derek, I know where you're at. I gave you a little bit of love in that video, but you're welcome. I'm glad you're following it and listening up and doing really well. Amazing. See if you can hold that, and the head-to-head team comes and beats you. All right, thoughts on Talakai to Olakau'atu. Yeah, a few people have been mentioning Olakau'atu there. I think that he's obviously a solid option. Shouldn't be won't be playing Origin. So I definitely think he could be a 50-point scorer and do really well for you. Madison, is he an option? Definitely think he's an option. Just the bench minutes is obviously a little bit tough, but the scoring's been incredible. So definitely wouldn't push you away from Madison for sure, but just doesn't play around 13. So maybe he's a good option in 14. I can't see him, keeping up scores in the 60s, for example. So his price shouldn't go too far from here, if we're being honest. All right, Lukey Adams got 9 and 19 trades, looking at bringing in IPAPS and Robson for Talakai and Randall. Okay, so that gives you 1 extra player for Origin. We'll give you 10 there, 17 trades remaining. I think that'll be okay. So if you can use 2 to 3 to 4 more heading into 13, I think that would work pretty well, Lukey. Matty, not too late for Ruben Cotter. I think that he's obviously scoring really well, but I just think there's a lot of chat around him right now, potentially getting a chance at getting a crack at Origin, and that would ruin his opportunity as a round 13 player. And that's the biggest reason we're picking him up is for that there. All right, Robbie, where do you draw the line between a player bleeding cash and then holding for round 13? Well, if you can give me your example of the player in the comments, and I'll be able to dive deeper into that one. But if they're bleeding cash as like a 30, 40, 50K a week kind of guy, and you don't see them as someone you'd hold anywhere past 13, you only keep them there. Guys like Schneider, for example, they weren't going to burn a lot of cash heading into round 13, for example. Stephen Crichton, he was always going to stay anywhere between the 450 to 550, and thankfully he's had a couple of good scores, which have brought him back into that, for example. But they're the kind of examples where you would hold. But if there's guys that he gets a 2, he gets a 5, whatever it is, and he's going to continue playing and not scoring well, like the roles change, he's moved to the bench or something like that, then that's when I would be moving them on. All right, Sprenko, where's your team ranked now? So the People Squad 108th, head-to-head team 26, which is actually incredible. And then the my team's had a bit of a rough one. I bought in Tamalolo this week and we're 4,200, so not ideal. But overall, 2 out of 3. We'll take that. All right, Madison Origin, be possible for free to not pick him. Yeah, but that, like, again, it's round 13 anyway, that he wouldn't be playing. Maddo and Robson, or IPAPS and Robson. I'd be on IPAPS for sure. If you don't have him, I'm killing myself that I don't, to be honest. Derek, Talakai and Pap to McInnes and Robson. Yeah, man, I think that's pretty solid. Leaves me with 19 trades. Might hold Pap so I can use him as a loop. Yeah, but it's a lot of money to use as a loop, Derek, especially when you're right at the top, man. I'd be looking to make those trades and really push. My head-to-head team would prefer that you don't. But yeah, for you and the advice that I can continue to give you, I think that would be a good trade out, just to keep up there, man. And one of those trades, puts you in a better position heading into round 13, for example. All right. When you say 12 to 15 players for round, does that include players like Tedesco who might not play despite their team playing round 13? So Aston, anyone that's in Origin misses out on 13 and 17 and potentially 14 and 18, depending if they decide to back up and play that game. So a lot of times, if you actually look in the Discord group, Scoops put out an awesome little screenshot there, or screen grab of all the different backups. So there might be, Roosters backup 3 days after round 13, for example, and that's when he could potentially play. But he also might miss 2 games in a row. So anyone that's definitely going to play Origin, they're going to be out in 13 and 17. So don't count them as a player in your playing 17 for that week. I hope that helps. All right, have 80K in the bank. What do I do with Liam Knight, Bacon Lord? I would move him on, man. He's not going to play 13, and he's someone that he's not too cheap that you can't move him on, but definitely, once we get the team list, we'll dive into that, and hopefully I'll have a cash cow for you, for sure. Jackie Feeve, so is Lolo a trade boss, man? I don't think he is, man. He's going to be playing in 13. Just had a rough week. He's got 2 really big games coming up that he's really going to need to be on for, and I think that's all we need to do. Is just hold him and hope for the best. I brought him in not just for 1 week. Like the minutes aren't going to happen. He's been super consistent with minutes and points the last bunch of weeks. So that's that there. Jamie can talk on Robson, likelihood of Granville taking minutes. So Granville will take some minutes when he returns. Does anyone actually know his return date? I'm sorry, I've been a little bit out of it, if I'm being honest, with that kind of stuff. But Robson's been great the last month, that's for sure. New Zealand Snipes Gaming. I only have 14 trades left. This is my first year doing fantasy, so I know I've blown a bunch, but I'm content with the lesson I will learn. Awesome, mate. Yeah, great to see you in here and learning it and playing, but that's okay. 14 trades left. Just hold steady. Just only make trades from now on that are necessary. A lot of the time that trades we make aren't. So just jump in and learn a little bit like you are, especially into this year. And you can push to for higher honors in years to come. But this year, just make a trade that is necessary at each time. 13 players for round 13 with 9 trains left. Awesome work, Vertigo Gaming. I'd be holding steady now. You could potentially trade in a guy or two that become must-haves, whether it's a cash cow or a gun, heading into round 13 now that aren't playing. They might be a gun for round 17. So if you can set up now, if you're trading a guy that's not playing in 13 for a guy that's another guy that isn't, make sure it's a gun or a guy that's a genuine cash cow that's going to make us good cash. But well done, good setup. Randall and Talcott leaves 1.4 for trades, 1.4 mil. Currently have 19. Cool, that'll be sweet, man. You'll have plenty of guns you can pick up in that. Mr. Lachlan, I'm doing well. Hope you're well also. Having fun over here. Looking at holding now, as I've got 13 players around 13 now. Happy to hold and prep for 17. Yeah, awesome. Obviously, just assume that there's going to be a suspension or injury over the next couple of weeks. Chrissy, 11 players playing 13, 7 trades left. Want to bring in Robson for Talakai. Yeah, do that. That'll give you 12. Awesome. Lock that in. Hey, mate, thoughts on Talakai to Olakawatu? Yeah, spoke about that earlier. I think it's pretty solid. He's going to be a very strong scorer when he scores tries. Obviously, the 38-0 is not going to help him, but Manly are going to be better. Tommy's back. They've got the majority of the band back. She'll still be there as well, so they'll be a better team for sure. Do I trade out Randall out for Barnett, or would you hold on to Randall? I'll speak about Barnett in a few videos' time, but he is someone that's a little bit up and down with his scoring, potentially a lot of the time, but he obviously does well. Can have these games where he gets 60 odd and is incredible, and then he has a 35. So he's just a bit of a worry. He doesn't play 13, so I think there's better options there. I just saw the bottom quick one there. Hamish, watching this on company time, Jamie. Love your work. Thank you, Hamish. I'm glad they can pay you for watching a bloke in a Cowboy singlet. in New York City. There you go. Thoughts on Stags? I think it's a no for Stagsy boy. Again, not in 13. Potential for Origin, so a few things there. Connor Smith, Jamie, currently ranked 6 overall. Appreciate the videos. Good work, Connor. Appreciate you being in here. Let's hope that one of my loyal listeners and watchers actually wins this comp this year. So we've got a 2, a 6, and a 26. Now, let me know if you're in the top 20 as well. Anyone else here? Team's full of Panthers and Storm players. Is that a good thing? It's great because they go well. Just make sure they're not full of Origin players. Up the Blues, CJ. Thank you. Up the Blues, that's for sure. Even though I'm a Cowboys supporter, guys, I'm a Blues supporter. All right, anyone urgent to bring in this week? I don't really have anyone I want to trade out. 600k in the bank, holding a few guys making cash, playing round 13. 21 trades, rank 1200, and 12 players for round 13. Looking pretty solid, man. You could probably just make sure you bring in another gun, would be my option if I was you. Stacey, trade out a hold. He's a hold, man. Dorian, Talakai, definite sell. I'm personally going to sell him this week, so take that as you will. He has another decent game this week, so he could come out and dominate again, but he just the cash he's going to lose, and they haven't played that well. 2 of the last 3 weeks, the Sharks haven't played great, especially against a lesser side, to be honest. No offense to the Raiders, even though they pumped them. 13 players, including Cotter with 15 trades. Okay, probably an ideal time to hold you, Bacon Lord. Lola trade out, he's a hold, man. Damien Shimon, Jamie BB, number 2 this week. 20 trades left. Talakai's got to go. Was it some corporate teams have figured him out, similar to Turbo? Yeah, that makes sense, man. Just the Sharks haven't played that well, though. I think that's the biggest thing for Talakai is that they haven't played well, and he doesn't get the opportunity in space to dominate. So, yeah, is what it is. 9 trades off this round. Yeah, I think 19 trades is okay, man. Most of the good teams are somewhere around that 20 mark. You saw Derek's at 18. So, yeah, you're fine. Move on, Penasini or Tungo after round 13. Penasini, you're either moving him on in round 13 or you're moving him on after 17 because he will play 17, Aiken and Burton. Yeah, that's fine. Those 2 guys he can use as cover in certain positions, which is obviously helpful as well. All right, can anyone quickly link the Discord group? Can someone link the Discord for him? Bit busy, obviously. Randall to Robson or Cotter. Just worry about Cotter with his potential Origin. There, someone just popped up. Have you spoken about Cotter? So loving Cotter at the moment. Just the potential for Origin is hurting a little bit, but scoring super well, for example. And that's really all I'm going to say. Just a worry for Origin. If you haven't got him now, I'd probably wait till 13. Obviously, a couple of weeks away before you decide to pick him up. I think anyway. Aiken and Elliott should be back this week, guys. If you're worried about them, but we'll wait till obviously team lists this evening when I'm sleeping. Karaz a buy if he starts at center. Yeah, but is he meant to start this week? Is it meant to be, it might be better if he can be a starter in round 14 or something. That would be ideal. Actually, no, sorry, they play round 13. So, no, let's hope that he does play and he is a buy. That's for sure. Any clear pickups and is Leo Thompson a trade out? Thompson's a trade out. Any clear pickups we'll find out in team list. So I just wanted to mainly just use this one to talk about Origin, the big things there. Reynolds in form or what? That's for bloody sure. If Crofton's named, I'm dropping Randall for McInnes, and with 200k in the bank, going to swap Wiley for Peoples or Karaz. How does that sound? Yeah, Hamish, lock it in. That all sounds pretty good, man. Yeah, I think you're sweet. Watching this in school during physics. Hell yeah, Bacon Lord. Good man. Love this. Make sure you tell all your friends that NFL Fantasy is the best, and if they don't know what you're talking about, or they laugh at you, tell them they suck. Thoughts on Cobbo switching to fullback? Is he a pickup? Yeah, nah, don't think so, man. He's obviously someone that has been scoring really well, heaps of tries lately. So, yes, moving to fullback would be great, but Tamari Martin hasn't done too well in that fullback position, and the guys on the wing have been dominating. Corey Oates, and Cobbo, obviously. So, it might be a bad thing, to be honest. Joseph, yeah, the Cotter thing, if you want to take the risk and him potentially playing Origin, that's fine. If you're not too worried about that and you just want him as a great scorer anyway for the next bunch of weeks, then just do that instead. All right, I spoke about Madison a little bit, mate. I just think that he's not going to go up in price too much. He's been scoring really well, but off the bench, 50 minutes is a worry. There's going to be a game where he gets 35, I promise you. You know what I mean? And that could come up in the next few weeks, for example, and then you get really annoyed and he doesn't play 13 as well. So if you're only playing a head-to-head one, then he could be a guy to pick up for sure. But yeah, definitely some risks there. But there's been risk with a bunch of players and they've worked out. I took a risk with Talakai, didn't really work out. I took a risk, well, not really risk, but I decided to trade in Tomalolo. It didn't work out. You know what I mean? Like it happens. All right, Richard Lane, bringing in a gun. Do I trade a guy out like Rushton or Herman? High chance of playing around 13, but scoring meh. You've got both of those guys, and you can use the 600 on one of those guys to a gun. I would do it, man. There's heaps of different players, like in the 600k to 800k, 900k range, that you could get with that straight trade. I think you've got two guys that aren't playing at all. If you could trade one of them up to a gun, yes, you're blowing the entire 600k, but I think that's going to put you in better stead for 13 than what it would holding that cash, if I'm honest. So, if one of your guns happens to get injured or suspended, you could just trade them straight away for another gun rather than just sitting that 600k there for the sake of it, if that makes sense. Yeah, when Cleary's going to drop a little bit of cash, for example, the next few weeks as well, there's going to be not many guys that are going to be super expensive. You got, it's probably three guys now in the four guys now in the 900s with Cook, Hines there. You've got Cleary and who else was there? Papali'i, for example. Anyone else are in that 800, 700-ish K mark, and they're really achievable to get to. So, yeah, I wouldn't stress about that. Hines should be playing Origin, by the way, yes. So 13 and 17, I think, will be without him. How you doing, Crystal Boxes? Welcome. 280k in the bank. Should upgrade Thompson, Gola, Penasini, Randall, Ilias, or Schneider. I'd say Randall and Thompson are your two guys that you've got to look for, Will G, and we'll work it out come team list. That's for sure. All right, Hamish Sophie's already answered. 2 risks to quarter. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of risk for sure. And thanks for helping out in the chat there, Hamish. All right, a few more to go, guys. If you've got any more questions, quickly drop them in because I'm going to jump off and potentially go grab some dinner. So any thoughts on a quick and easy dinner in NYC? We got a big day tomorrow, so just hanging out tonight. All right, Robson a strong buy. I think he's a decent buy for sure. Julia bringing Jackson and Burton in, and then holding off to week 14. Thoughts about 12 players playing around 13. Yeah, and just you can hold off and then just leave it if there's any potential injuries or something like that. Then that would be sweet. You could just make that one trade or something heading into round 13, and then just go from there. I think that would be good. Jack Eisenhuth, if I trade Talakai, I have TPJ and Kelmo on the edges as backup, but who do I pick up for Talakai? You can pick any position, man. If you've got, so TPJ and Kelmo would be backup. Do you have any more edge guys? Do you have the Aikens? Do you have these types of guys that could cover? If you do, then I'd be going for a different position potentially. And, any of the guys I've spoken about in the last couple of weeks, I think are really good options as guns. And we'll speak about a few more in the videos coming up in the next few days. All right. Thoughts on Josh Jackson? I think he's still a great buy. He got the 80 minutes, which means he can go through. Obviously, spend a bit of time on the edge, but if he can get that 80 minutes in the middle again, he'll be back in the 50s and you'll be loving it. So that should be sweet there. Bought in McInnes and the Cheese, hoping the Cheese gives 4 minutes because Nelson is out and he'll be the hooker while Grant plays Queensland. Yeah, I understand the reason why people brought in the Cheese, and that's completely fine. The McInnes one was good. And Brandon can't go any worse than what's happening at the moment. So, I doubt that he's going to be enjoying playing 30 minutes. Not sure why. Anyway, Richard, what have we got? Cheers for the advice, mate. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it. Might post squad in your Discord if I can figure out how to work it. Yeah, it can be a little bit hard, but obviously jump on the computer if you can do that. Have Cleary and Hines already. IPAP or Cook would be good. IPAP's is your man for sure. What do we got? Aiken and Elliott back this week. They should be fine, Johnny. I'm not too worried about them. Hey, man, new to fantasy. 15 trades left. Should I get rid of Leo Thompson and upgrade to Adam Elliott? He's definitely an option if he's back this week and fighting fit and named in number 9 again. Go for it. Randall and Talakai to who position don't matter. 1.4 million. Yeah, I spoke about him, but we'll just easier if I can do it on the computer when I show you all the players on the side. But I'll give you all the options in that 1.4. And Adam Elliott could be one that you can do the cheaper one and then go up high. With the rest of that cash, you'll have 900k. So, new NYC has the best hot dog stands. Yeah, we got one today. They're good, nice and cheap too, which is good. It's been super expensive over here, by the way. Inflation's really got them hard, worse than it has back home, if we're being honest. Manu for Talakai. Joey, who's the other Manu? Oh, right, bring him in for Talakai. Yeah, cool. Go for it. Derek, you're never going to take over me. You got Ben Hunt. What a roller coaster. I'll be first at the end of the week. Don't you worry, bro. I hope so. That'd be cool. It'd be cool if you are. Benny Hunt, that is a roller coaster. But if he has a couple of good weeks, then we're sweet, mate. Don't you worry. If he can have a few good ones, I'll move him on in round 13. And oh damn it, why did I just tell everyone what I do? Oh wait, that's what I do. Authentic New York Pizza. I had a few of them, Damien, which is good. Load on the edges. Also have Elliot and iPaps. Awesome. Yeah, just go through obviously the 2 videos that I had for buy, hold, sell. Last few weeks would be great, and then whoever I talk about this week would be sick. Hold Lolo, yeah, hold him, mate. Yeah, Tamari Martin I think is a sell, man. Obviously pretty cheap at the moment, which is annoying, but yeah, he's a sell if you have a decent option to go for it. May as well captain Ben while you're at it. No. Hey, there was thoughts about it the first few weeks after he got what 80, 50, 60, whatever he got. When there was no Cleary, that's for sure. Angus Crichton's been pretty inconsistent, but still at a reasonable price point for a player of his quality. If he can pick his game up, is he definite for Origin in 13? I definitely think he'll be on the bench in Origin. I don't see why he wouldn't be. Hasn't been playing incredibly well, but the whole team, the whole Roosters team hasn't been playing incredibly well. So I think he'll be there. Wishart's a very interesting one for sure. Old Wishart, yeah, it's gonna be fun for him. He's gonna get a bit of time at the back there, and yeah, main issue is obviously round 13. They don't play, right, Storm? Just checking. Yeah. And what else you got? How many trades should a top 1,000 player have right now? The Wishart thing I'll speak about during the week. Don't worry about him. Top 1,000 player have right now. I think anywhere around the 20 mark is fine. If you have any more than that, even better. Anything under that is also fine, unless it's about 16. 16 is too low. If you want to, I think, do really well across the whole season, you might be fine until right at the end, and then you might die. So anything around 20, 22 would be sick. Back in Oz on the 25th. So I'll be back doing videos from home on the 25th. What's that, about a week or so? Head off to Minnesota next in 2 days. So that'll be fun. That's the thing I'm most excited for. I got my big conference with Gary Vee, which will be fun. All right, Blake Taaffe, bless us with another score this week. The GOAT. Can the GOAT Blake Taaffe? Let's hope so. Do you think House will play during the Origin period? Yeah, maybe like one game, so he could potentially be a cash out in round 17. Is that when they play? Rushton is not playing. Should we look and trade him for a Karaz if he's named? Remember, we've had a few issues with this when we've traded Cash Cow for Cash Cow, or Dud Cash Cow, 220 guy for 220 guy, and it hasn't worked out. So just be aware of doing that. You want to at least create some value with the trade going from like a 400k to a 220 would be ideal. And Karaz is actually not that cheap, so that'd be the way I'd be thinking about it. Johnny, I'll talk about trade-ins in a couple more videos. I just wanted to speak about the Origin chat in this one and what to do with Coates. So biggest thing with Coates this week is I think he's going to lose a fair bit of cash, so he could definitely be a trade. Jerome Hughes should be back this week, hopefully. And so I'd be holding on to Jerome if you can. You wouldn't have a random Rabbitohs jersey, would you? Be that random Rabbit guy across the world. Thankfully, when I went to the Golden State Warriors game, I had my own jumper. Didn't have to be the Rabbitohs guy. I do not want to wear a Rabbitohs jersey, that's for sure. Who do you think will win the NBA championship? Hopefully my Warriors, Ben. But I've been loving the series at the moment. I mean, it's so fun. I was actually really happy. I was really happy to see Dallas beat Suns, and I think it's going to be a super fun series between us two. And I'm actually excited for the Celtics and Heat one as well. Everyone's riding off the Heat already, so I think that it's going to be super fun. Good games there, and probably both 6 or 7 game series as well. And then I'll give you my prediction when the Warriors make the finals. But I definitely think Dallas have a great shot of beating us. But anyway, Moses a hold after that performance. He definitely is. Randall trade for Sexton. I would not trade Sexton, and we'll finish the video on that. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And if you haven't, if you're just in now, value at the top, jump in there before when you've worked. I got my bloody flip phone and whatever else in there. You get to watch that. Just skip through that a little bit. For some reason, my phone wouldn't stay sideways like it usually does. But anyway, thanks so much for being here again. Appreciate all you guys here. If you are new and you aren't subscribed, what are you doing? Get around it. You're missing out on plenty of great information and an awesome community. Jump in the Discord group, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. See you, New Zealand Snipes Gaming. Have a great one, guys. See you later.